To relive the experience of the sea in a photograph, the ingredients seem easy. Waves, boats, big boats, the men, the wind. There is a man who knows more than anyone else how to put these elements together. He is called Carlo Borlenghi. And here we are at his home in Bolano, on Lake Como, where he was born and where he takes refuge after he returns from his long voyages across the seas.
Carlo, cosa fa bella una foto?
Carlo, what makes a good photo? A director of National Geographic said, "Open 8 and be there." Do you agree?
Ma sì, abbastanza, però è la novità che riesci a portare in ogni foto.
Well, yes, sort of. It's the newness that you portray in photography, the difference between what you did the year before.
Qualsiasi volta un'idea nuova, rappresentare.
That's the beautiful photo. Looking for a new idea each time. Capture an object or an event in 2 frames. If the photo is right, there is no need for a caption. You know immediately what was happening. Like at the Olympics, you know straight away who won and who lost, looking at the photos of victory or crying.
La sintesi invece di creare ogni volta una fotografia che racconta qualcosa.
So you need to be taking photos that retell something and not be missing the minute of that celebration, that losing of the medal.
Ogni tanto rischio, perché se dovessi portare a casa la
Every now and then you have to risk it, because if I don't bring the pictures home, normally there are 2 of us, one does overview shots, whilst the other is taking pictures of the details, targeting particular details that you know the other one isn't going to get his shots of.
Per esempio, questa fotografia qui era un servizio per Rolex in Brasile e uno si aspetta.
This photograph is from a shoot we did for Rolex in Brazil. But what would you expect from Brazil? The sun. And that day was awesome. No wind, the sky was very dark. The sea and the sky were almost melded together.
E praticamente non potevi scattare, tornavi con delle foto che
Basically, you couldn't shoot. I would have come home with pictures that no one would use about a race in Brazil, so I started to play around. So I came up with this. Follow the boats for a very short time, and then I would do the drawings myself.
The
Barcelona in Trieste, there was this game with the sails, which in the end seemed to look more like a watercolour. How long do you reckon it takes to take the right photo? You can wait up to a month. The important thing is that you've got the idea in your head. Once you've got the idea, you're okay. Not knowing how to swim, I've always dreamed of taking photos underwater, to see the boats from underneath, under the surface of the water. So anyway, I made up this post attached to an underwater camera, and this is one of the results. The important thing is to understand what's going on before anyone else. This is an underwater one, from a miserable day weather-wise, and the final America's Cup between ENG and Team New Zealand. Here, I was lucky enough to be on the staff boat as I was working for them. And I got this shot, which I think still stands up well. A double pager makes me very happy.
Ogni barca c'ha il suo perché. I catamarani sono spettacolari.
Each boat has its own strength. Catamarans are spectacular. I like them a lot more in choppy seas and in fleet races, rather than match races. Fleet racing is fantastic. I've managed to capture the attention of the Venetian public. The shores were packed in Naples, as in Newport and San Francisco. This is another beautiful moment in sailing, when Vespucci and Luna Rossa met, and Vespucci arrived in Auckland in 2003.
2000? No, 2003.
In 2000, no, you're right, 2003. There's another strange story in those pictures. That's an idea that came to me randomly, looking for a sailboat without a sail. That's a supermarket. That's a wave, an angle of a boat.
Senti, ma questa casa...
But in this house?
Questa qua era un po' il sogno che avevamo.
This house was a little dream that we had, me and my wife, Alessandra. I was sorry not to live on the lake. Being born on Lake Como, however, it was really difficult and prohibitively expensive because usually those who have the houses on the lake don't sell.
Senti, ma
But do you take photos with your phone too?
Tutto. Guarda, con qualsiasi cosa.
Everything, anything. One of today's new phones has a superior quality than the first digital camera I bought, which cost 24 million lira.
Ci resta sempre la testa.
There always needs to be an eye behind the lens.
quando sei in questi posti...
When you were in such wonderful places like St. Bart's, Auckland, Sydney, do you ever think of coming back here?
Ma io sempre voglio ritornare qua.
I always want to come back here.
Il caricabatterie.
This is where I charge up my batteries.
Sto qua 3 giorni volentieri, mi isolo qua.
I will gladly stay here a couple of days, just on my own. I hardly ever go out when I'm back at this house. I think it's so perfect, even if after 3 days I have to go because I want a new adventure. Yep, a new adventure. That's just me. But I know it would do me good to stay on the lake.
C'è tutto lo spazio d'aria
Here, you've got all the space and air you need.
e di tranquillità che magari quando...
Tranquility. You don't find when you're traveling.
La cosa che mi piace dire qui è che non sono più in mezzo alla gente, perché durante le regate sei sempre in mezzo.
Because when you're off, during the regattas, there are always so many people around that you have to talk to.
A me sarebbe piaciuto fare il reportage, girare a fare il reportage. Pensavo che facendo questo lavoro qua
I would like to do photo features. I thought that by doing this work with the sailing world, it would allow me to have a nice living and the ability to go around the world, trying to take photos everywhere.
all'inizio un po' è stato così, perché andavo, avevo un po' più di tempo e mi sceglievo magari.
And at the beginning, it was a bit like that. I went and I had a little more time, and maybe I would choose another shoot to do. But you know, you could offer up a photo service to the newspapers and 90% were buying, because they could still afford photos.
Per principio, chiunque viene a bussare al mio ufficio, non dico mai di no, perché mi rivedo io 35 anni fa che andavo a bussare a Milano.
As a principal, I never turn anyone away if they come knocking at my office door, because I can see myself 35 years ago when I had to go knocking on doors in Milan, looking for work in a printer's.
Gli devo dire che non sono usciti tanti molto bravi, perché forse è un metodo
And a lot have come, many of whom were really good, maybe because I have a teaching method
Li lascio molto fare controllando, spiegandogli quello che...
that lets you do a lot by checking and explaining what might actually serve the customer, but what also might serve him for his own personal photos.
Mia moglie è un'altra parte fondamentale a seguire anche poi i ragazzi a una certa
My wife is the other fundamental part of the puzzle as she looks after the kids. She's so confident with them. I'm not, but all of us together make for a fun group.
Senti, cosa fa la moglie
What does Carlo Borlenghi's wife do?
La moglie di Carlo Borlenghi, oltre che organizzarmi tutti i servizi
The
perfetti,
wife of Carlo Borlenghi organises him perfectly and puts up with him, which in itself is a huge job. It's something I have always asked. If he had to choose between me and work, what would he choose? And I have to say, I think it would be work. I'm almost certain.
quando viene anche lei ogni tanto con me sui campi di regata,
When she is with me every now and then in regattas, in the end it's hell because I don't have a schedule. The priority is always the light or any work that I need to do, so I know she's very patient.
No, vabbè, il suo lavoro è pazzesco, cioè veramente...
Yes, well, his timetable is really crazy, and work comes first, and I think that's right.
perché
He really puts his very soul into it, which is the most important thing, no?
Ma lei è molto discreta, molto indipendente.
But she is very discreet, very independent. She plays the role of the photographer's wife very well.
io credo che il talento, fra virgolette, di Carlo sia di non fermarsi mai.
I believe that Carlo's talent is the way he never stops, always looking for something new.
E che non lo so, non interpreta mai.
And that great thing about him is that he never interprets a race in the same way. He's always looking for what's new to shoot.
E la casa che abbiamo, noi vivevamo qua accanto ed è una casa che abbiamo desiderato tanto e non lo so, non pensavamo mai potesse.
The house that we have now, we live close by, is the house that we wanted so much, but we never thought we'd be able to buy it for loads of reasons.
Non so se è realizzato proprio il nostro sogno. No, la cosa che ci emoziona molto.
The day we were able to buy it was like a dream come true. It is so exciting to be so close to the lake. This contact with the water is amazing. We feed the fish and the swans that come each day. You just have to call them. It is just so wonderful.
Di barche ne ho fotografate molte in tutti i mari del mondo, dall'alto, dal basso.
I've photographed a lot of boats in all the oceans of the world, from above, from below. The next thing I'd like to do over the next few years is to capture the humanity.
L'umanità e una serie di personaggi di questo ambiente qua, cercando di carpire la loro
There are a few people in this environment who are trying to represent personality. It is a very difficult challenge. I'm not good as a portrait artist, and I'll have to learn everything from scratch, but it's a challenge that I have set myself, and I hope to overcome this in the coming years.